Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
I kindly request all participants to please wait for a few minutes. Our expert, Dr. Kunal Toomey, sir, will be joining us shortly. After that, we will begin the session.
For the update, ma'am, we all will be waiting by then.
and it Good evening, Kunal sir.
Good evening, madam. Yeah. Am I audible, madam? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes.
So, good evening to all the senior members of Team Research Foundation of India, our distinguished session expert, Dr. Kunal Soni sir, and all dear participants. I'm delighted to extend a warm welcome to each of you on day 3 of this intellectually enriching 7 days training and faculty development program on practical applications of ICT tools and online teaching in current scenario. This initiative is proudly organized by the Research Foundation of India, RFI-CARE, and BPIT, with a generous sponsorship from JHERF, Academic Research Guide Association, and Edu Academic Inc. Before we proceed, allow me the privilege of acquainting each and every one of you with the esteemed presence of the most proficient and outstanding Dr. Kunal Soni sir. He is an esteemed associate professor of finance and accounting at the School of Management, GSFC University, Vadodara. With a rich academic background spanning 10 years and an additional 3 years of industrial experience, he holds a diverse set of qualifications including a BBA and MBA in finance, PhD in management, and various specialized diplomas. His remarkable contribution to the field are evident through 24 publications in widely recognized genres such as Scopus, ABDC, UGC-CARE, and Web of Science. Notably, he holds a patent under the Intellectual Property Rights Act 1970, recognized by the Government of India for his innovative work on techno-innovation and growth of the Indian share market. His academic excellence is emphasized by winning 3 Best Research Paper awards at international conferences sponsored by UGC and AICTE. Acknowledged as the best faculty of management department at Paro Institute of Management, he has also been a sought-after resource person and session chair at over 20 B schools, UGC, HRDCs, and research institutes across India. As a dynamic educator, he imparts knowledge through training sessions on analytical software like SPSS, AMOS, Smart PLS, eViews, Advanced Excel, and R program. His commitment to continuous learning is demonstrated by his participation in over 20 faculty development programs organized by prestigious institutions such as IIM Ahmedabad and IIM Visakhapatnam. With 90 research papers presented at national and international conferences, he exemplifies expertise and innovation in the field of finance, accounting, and management. With that, I once again welcome Kunal sir and kindly request him to begin his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Neha, madam, for the brief introduction. Yeah, somebody has raised a hand. Any query, Pravesh Swami? Okay, let's start with the session. Let's confirm the screen sharing. Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So the topic for today's discussion is, say ICT and effective presentation skills. So very interesting topic, which I found as far as the academic fraternity is concerned, and especially when we have to deal with our specialization, in terms of imparting, knowledge in terms of the specialization and the development of the students that we have to deal with into our day-to-day practices. Right, because now today is a scenario where we cannot consider or we cannot imagine the academics without the ICT tools, right? So it has gained a significant place as far as the academic part is concerned. So we must have to see to it that we should at least justify those parts into effective manner, and that only will create the impact in the minds of students. Because today the scenario, many a times I have conducted the sessions, and I always, give one advice in my session, that whatever we teach, we always go with the facts and figures, and at the same time, we also have to work in terms of the smartest way, and that is called the ICT and AI tools, right? So they have gained a significant impact and place in the academic journey. And without the ICT tools, we cannot imagine the success of any faculty and students, right? Because if at all the demand of industry is like, you have to abide and you have to follow the ICT tools and AI tools. So it is a necessary that every faculty and students needs to adopt, right? So the first responsibility goes to the faculty, and that if the faculty is much aware and much imparted in terms of the utilization of ICT tools, then only they would be able to delegate those knowledge to the students, right? So it is very, very essential that we should focus on these parameters in a very effective manner. So with that consideration, let me start my presentation. So we need to understand, as far as we talks about ICT and presentation skills. So we both are focusing on the development of the students, right? So if at all we are presenting anything in front of students in the class on any such topics, right, we must have to see to it that what is the actual education goal, right? So we must have to focus, as far as our effort should be diverted in the directions of the goals of the education, right? So if at all I have to bifurcate the goals of education. So the primary goals of education are, the first is the employability, right? So whatever subjects we are teaching to our students, right, we must need to ensure that we must keep those levels up to the level that students will get placed, after their completion of the degrees, right, or before completion of the degree, right? And how it is possible? The only when the students are up to the mark as per the scenario. And today is a scenario that students should be aware about all all the usage of the information and communication tools. That is called ICT tools, right? So that is called the employability, and employability always comes when our students are well versed with the utilization of ICT tools, and at the same time, they must possess the effective presentation skills, right? So they both are interconnected with each other. How the presentation skills is going to be improved? So we have to focus on that if the students are confident enough on any of the topic, and they must have faced in the past multiple times the stage that they have to share for the presentation of any topics, then only they would be able to represent in front of the corporates, right? So before that, if at all any students is coming for the first time, so they might severe, right, at the time of they have to speak something. So the convincing power will not come out automatically, right? And to get this power, we must have to practice those things, at the school level. So we must have to ensure that all the students should undergo with this kind of practices, and this kind of presentation should always be focused upon the utilization of ICT tool, right? That is called effective presentation skills. So these two things will bring the employability among the students as far as the placements at the universities and institute is concerned. Then increasing earning potential. Placement is not only important, right? Because if I have to say that what is a placement, so there is one institute is making placement for 20,000 rupees per month, and there is one institute who is making placement for 60,000 or 1 lakh package per month, right? So both are considered to be placements, but which placement is rational? Which placements are going to be creating an impact as far as the increasing earning potential is concerned, right? If at all we have placed our student for the first instance, but we have not developed them in a such a way that they should have some skills and talents to improve their earning potential. So this is not going to be turned out, right? And how the students will have this kind of skills in terms of the increasing earning potential. So that is nothing but when the students are well versed about their topic, about their work, about their concept, and the students are only going to be well versed about all this aspect when they are knowing the usage of ICT tools, because the moment are going very fast and student needs to be updated, right? And these updations are always going to be a part of the various instruments of information and communication technologies. Advanced knowledge, so obviously, advanced knowledge always comes out from the ICT tools, right? Various innovations, softwares, AI tools are coming out into the market. So if the person is still making the presentation by his own, typing skill, and the person who is knowing that, the chat GPT will make my works in a very insignificant manner. So the other person, if at all he's not knowing how to make presentation, but he know how to make utilization of ICT tools and AI tools. So I think the person who is not knowing, the AI tools, and the person who is knowing AI tools, but the person who is not knowing what is the topic for, the sub points for the topic, but the students who is having the proper knowledge of the AI tools and ICT tools. So that makes a significant difference, I think. So they don't have to scratch their minds, right? So the fundamentals are ready. They just have to think what should be the sequence of the topics and what should be covered and what not should be covered, right? The content are n number of there, because the person who is knowing the ICT tools, they will never face the crunch of the content for any of the topics, right? So that is called advanced knowledge. Wisdom, right? So that is called the freedom that we have to do. And research and experimentations, right? So if at all we are, utilizing any ICT tools, so we must need to ensure that the maximum utilization for the ICT tools is going to be happen for the research and experimentations on any topic, right? Any damn specialization we are dealing with, we must have to ensure that it should be utilized for the research and experiment. And even to utilize the ICT tools, you should also have your own research and experimentation, right? Let's say earlier there was only chat GPT for the AI tool, right? But now there are various AI tools, even various Google extensions are available as a part of ICT tools. So which extension I have to use, which AI tool I have to use, that only comes out in your mind when you are aware about those tools, first of all. And once you are aware about it, but you have not experimented before that, then you will not be in a position to differentiate which one is better and which one is not better, right? So this always comes out with the experimentations, previous knowledge, right? So we keep doing this part as a part of our academic journey, so that we can also suggest this part to our students. And by doing this, we must able to bring the first primary goal, that is called the employability, continuous employability, right? So they will keep update, themselves, because we have treated them like this. So secondary goals, spiritual growth. So we have to build them mentally strong. We have to create that they should be ready for accepting all the challenges in the life. Mental growth, that is called the mental power in terms of facing all the issues and providing the appropriate solutions that they have to bring it out. Engaging in terms of the question answers, facilitating better lifestyles, and developing scientific outlook, right? So these are the important aspects that we must have to see to it. With those consideration, there are three dimensions of ICT tools. So whenever you are using ICT tools, we always have to keep in mind the three dimensions of ICT tools. The first is the creativity. That means the creativity always starts from very basic levels of making your presentations, right? So how to make your presentation to be on a different mode in comparison to the others, that makes a difference. How creative your presentation is, that creates an impact in the minds of the selectors, right? And that presentation will speak out something, you don't have to speak anything. The way you present, that is called the creativity. You can use the pictures, you can use the tables, you can use the hierarchical graphs, right? You can use the jargons, you can use important terminologies or slogans for the topic, right? Instead of writing, each paragraph in the PPTs, it looks very, clumsy. Nobody's interested to see your entire PPT. I'm saying this, but you have to make it out in terms of the bullet points, right? So that creates the impact in the minds of people, and the people are ready to see your PPT. That is called the effective presentation skills, right? So even if I'm making this presentation right now, I also have to ensure that I should stick to the points which I have covered in this presentation. So effective presentation skills is like, you should not put on entire paragraph and you should read the PPTs, right? So where is your role? Being a presenter, where is your role? Right. So you have to create some curiosity in the minds of the students and the readers. Right. So if at all they are reading those slides, they should be forced to read it, because you have to create the curiosity in the minds of the students and the audience, right? So what should be the next topic that you will discuss on this particular topic? So that curiosity, you need to bring it out, but that curiosity will only be generated when you stick to this policies. That is called the pinpoints of the presentations. You should not do the entire paragraph, right? Otherwise, they will read it and they will sit silently, right? They will get inactive, right? So this is what we have to see to it. Second aspect is competitiveness. The presentation should stick to the use of ICT tools as per the greatest presentation styles, and most importantly, it should be of the current scenario, implementation and research, and facts and figures, right? So that is where you brings out the competitiveness. Let's say if I am making the projections for the coming financial year, that is 2024 and 25. So the data for 2010, 2011 and 2012 is not going to work out. But to make a projection for 2024 and 25, I need to get the data of 2021, 22, 22, 23, 23 and 24, right? So this is called current data. This is called current competitiveness that I need to bring it out. Even I need to make a comparison with the other industry also. I have to take the data of the current past 3 to 5 years and not any 5 years, in the last past, that I have to see to it. This is called the dimensions of ICT tools. So ICT tool will help you out in terms of making your presentation to be more competent by providing the recent data, facts and figures within a single clicks. And collaborativeness. So whenever you are making the presentations with the use of ICT tools, you have collaborative efforts, right? Because one brain and the multiple brains, the difference always comes out when any presentations or any work that has been done out with the mutual agreement and mutual concerns. Because multiple brains can create a wonders, right? So you should have the collaborative efforts as far as the presentation is concerned on any topic with the utilization of ICT tools, because you are not well versed for all the functions of the ICT tools, right? Because it is like a sea, right? The more and more you will, apply, the more and more you will know, right? The more you will demonstrate, the more you will gain it, right? And new things on a daily basis you will try to learn. So that is called the collaborative efforts that you have to bring it out as a part of the ICT tools. And with the combined efforts of this creativity, competitiveness, and collaboration, you will finally be able to achieve the harmony in the society. That is called, if your students, which is called the future of the nation, if you are building them, if you are guiding them in the right directions, they would be turned out to be the society for the next generation. And if at all they have the employability, earning potential, and they must be, capable enough to bring out and to access all the ICT tools, that is called the win-win situations, and it is called the harmony in the society, right? That is called, the wealth you are creating in the society by, imparting the earning potential skills in the minds of students with the effective presentations and ICT tools utilization. So that is called harmony in the society. Now we will discuss on which type of ICT tools are there. So first of all, YouTube is one of the ICT tools that we have utilized, right? So if at all you are making some presentations, right, you can keep the YouTube clips, edited clips. That creates the major impacts, right? Whatever you are trying to communicate in terms of the quantitative mode to the target audience, you must utilize those parameters as a part of, making them convinced, by putting only those parameters, which is a part of your presentation, right? So the clip should be for 30 seconds to 1 minute or 2 minutes, not more than that, right? But it should be up to the mark and topic should be covered out of this presentation, right? So ICT tools can make your presentation more fruitful, more accurate, and more convincing, right? So this is the power of ICT tools and we must have to utilize. Wikipedia. So if at all you are searching for any information, right, Wikipedia is basically consists of the past and historical data for any of the topic that you are looking for. So if at all you are, if you are writing any research paper, or if at all you are writing your thesis and any topic where you need some historical data and, the founder, CEO data kind of thing. So this kind of details are available on Wikipedia, so you can have the access of this and you can summarize your presentations. Google Groups, very, very important. I don't know whether you have, almost you have utilized, right? So Google, when you, I had already told that ICT tools should always be utilized and learned with the collaborative efforts, right? Because we are not expert for everything, especially for those who are in commerce and management, right? Because you have not dealt with the technology in the past. So you will take some times to learn and to adopt this kind of changes. So if at all you are working in the groups, you will not feel frustrated, right? So that is called collaborative efforts. So if at all you are planning some presentation on one topic, right? And if at all your students wants to make a presentation on certain topics that has been delivered by you, so you must teach your students that how to utilize the Google spreadsheet, Google Word documents and Google Slides, right? So by sitting at home, they can share their ideas, share their presentations, and they don't have to make an efforts, to download multiple files and to compile those presentation into single PPTs. But if at all you are sitting at your home, so you create your own PPTs and you create your own contents in the slides, which is applicable to you. And at the end, once everybody has completed their part, the PPT is ready and any person can download those PPTs and they can have the presentation by sitting at any place across the world, right? So this is the power of ICT tools, right? But it is possible only when we have executed, right? We must have explored this, right? So we must have to teach that students that these kind of facilities are available, and we must utilize it, right? Contacts, Google Contacts. So if at all you want to create and people have already filled the form and then we have to create a WhatsApp group. So there is a Google Contacts, right, through which we can create one file, and if this file will be uploaded on the WhatsApp, the people will be automatically join this WhatsApp group, right? So this kind of facility is also available, right? So we don't have to add manually the entire, individual person. But these things is only possible, and when you know this tools, right? So the person who is knowing this kind of tools and the person who is not knowing this kind of tools, definitely they will make some changes. Definitely they will make some difference as far as the profitability is concerned, different decision making is concerned, the speedy process of the organization is concerned, service part is concerned, right? So that definitely makes a difference, right? So the person who is not knowing this, they will struggle in this today's scenario, right? So it is very, very important that we should teach our students in these directions. So Google Docs, I have already discussed. Blogs. Many people are writing their blogs on these particular topics. Even you can write your own blogs, whatever there in your mind, especially the topic in which you are dealing with. So you must have your fan following under which you can share your thoughts and receive the feedbacks from the people. So for which you can have the blogs, and even for the content making also, you can utilize the blogs also, right? So blog is also the one of the important tool. Google Maps, right? Google Maps, everybody has utilized that. Wherever we have to go, we have to use Google Maps. Slide shares, obviously, if at all we need to prepare some presentation and we are facing with the problems to make arrangement of the content, a sequence of the content, even the content we are not finding out, right? So this kind of problem will be sorted out by the slide share, right? At least you can have the glance of the previous people who have made this presentation on that particular topic, right? So you can have the slide shares also. So important sources of information, right? That is for the ICT tools. That is called Wikispace, where you have the data for all the information. Skype, it was before the Google Meet and Zoom platforms, people were using Skypes to have a video calling, right? So by sitting, just like we are sitting at different places, right? But we are having continuous learning, right? Uninterrupted learning. So this is an invention of ICT tools, right? So Google Meet is also one of the part of important source of ICT tools for the information, right? So Google Meet has contributed significantly, as far as the academic things is concerned, right? So sharing of information, slides, everything is possible. Even we can record the sessions, right? So this is possible with the use of Google Meet and Google Data, Google Drive, Google Sharing, right? So this is a part and inventions of ICT tools, and we must utilize those tools in a maximum possible manner so that we can make our work accurate, speedy, and qualitative. And that's where we can able to gain certain positions in the market, because we are up to date with the data, with the inventions, with the softwares. So nobody can stop you to grow, even at a faculty level also. Nobody can stop you to grow, right? So that is very essential to adopt such changes as and when it happens. And we should not resist to adopt such changes. So Dropbox is another social media site. Facebook, we all know, right? So I'll not discuss much on this. So we all get connected on the Facebook, and we get updated what people are doing, yeah, where they are, right? How they are behaving, what is the achievements of the person, what is the thought of that particular person, right? So everything will be shared by the person on the social media, right? So the social media makes a person socialized, and that is possible with the use of ICT tools. Twitter, right? Every person is sharing their thoughts on the Twitter, especially film stars, sports person. So if at all you want to follow someone, so you can go for Twitter. Now it is, I think, X, right? So Twitter has turned out to be X. So I will update today only, right? So Twitter has turned out to be X, right? So the X, Digo is one of the other softwares. SlideShare we have already discussed, and Mozilla Firefox is a search engine, and Google Chrome, right? So there where you can have the informations, and you can access all the information which is required for your presentations, for your updations of the knowledge, but with the utilization of those ICT tools which is in front of you, right? So we must utilize those tools in a significant manner, and that will create some impact at the later stage, right? So that is called important sources of information. What is the role of ICT tool? It was a ray of hope in the pandemics, right? So I always say in my all the presentation that ICT tool has played a significant role even at the India level, right? Because people were facing issues to meet the person, schools were shut down, uh, parents was worried, faculty was worried, people was worried, everything. The monetary cycle has stopped. People were facing unemployment, people were facing the issues of getting the household things around their cities and across the world. So the person has discussed the strategy. The government has also discussed the strategies how to mitigate with this situation. The government has also used the ICT tools. Even the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, has communicated all the messages, whether he's coming on 10 a.m. on the media, right? On whatsoever message that he wants to communicate to the people of India, he has utilized the media channel and social media in a significant manner, right? So that the people has effectively turned out of the stroke of the pandemics. And ICT tools has played a significant role, whether it is in front of government, doctors, educations, or all the industries. Wherever it was possible to work on online mode, all industry has successfully adopted and supported to the initiatives of the government and the recent situation. But this must be done by the ICT tools, right? So it was a ray of hope. So ICT has become integral part of today's teaching and learning process. So we cannot imagine the teaching learning process without the ICT tools, right? That is, countries over the globes are using those ICT tools to facilitate information and communications in all areas of teaching and learning process. So benefits of effective utilization. So that is, it motivates the students. Why? Because it is uninterrupted learning, right? So you do not have any noise, you do not have any transportation times, you do not have to go at anywhere. You sit at your place at your convenient time and conveniency, and you can have uninterrupted learning and enjoy your learning, right? Your screen and you is only there, so that you can have the better accessibility. At the same time, if you are facing some issues in any topic, you can quickly go through the search engine of Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox, and you can find it out the right solution if at all you are facing some issues, right? Which is not possible at the offline classes, right? So this is a wonders of the ICT tools, right? So that is happening in the teaching learning process. Make your session more attentive and interesting. As I told you, you can have a demonstration of various videos, softwares, and all such aspect where the people have the live attention, which is not possible in the offline classes where 50, 60 students are there. The visibility aspect, the audibility aspect is always be the problem. But in ICT tools, everybody has equal voice and equal visibility. So there is no problems and there is no chaos as far as the class management is concerned. So re-energize teachers' motivation. So teachers also enjoy because they do not have to make unnecessary efforts to control and administer the classes. Right. So students are self-managed in the ICT tools. Learn new skills and technology. So you the more you access all the AI tools and search engine, the more you will gain it, right? And this is possible with the ICT tools. Help students to understand the concept clearly, which I already mentioned that students can have the uninterrupted learning, and if at all they are facing any problems, they can search it out the right kind of solutions for the problem. So ICT tools, blessing in disguise. So I'll not spare much time on this. I'll just quickly brief out. Although I had mentioned the word sentences, because it is the sentence is taken from any news media and something, right? So the student's perspective, it is more useful in terms of creativity, in terms of saving times, have the better access of the various mode of learning, and at the same time, most importantly, it was cost effective, right? I still remember in COVID the geo was free of cost, so student has free of cost teaching learning process. And from teachers perspective, it has also bridged the gap between students and faculties. Now students have more better interactions with the faculty, which was not possible in the physical class, where the disturbance and the noise and all such aspect was the hurdles for the students. But now for the teachers also, it was the greatest part, that ICT tool learnings, and it saves the efforts of the teachers. They do not have to shout, they do not have to manage, they do not have to go to the locations, but they simply open the laptop,